Today is Monday, it's Yudches Kislev Tovshin Ayin Tes. We are on Teres Menachem Sefer Mamorim Tovshin Yud Gimel, the Mamar of Parshas Shlach, Vayihiyu Bnei Yisroel Bamidbar. We are on page Kuf Ayin Tes at Ois Daled. Following on from the theme that Rebbe addressed earlier, which is serving Hashem in two modes, in a limited mode and in an unlimited mode. And following on from the Rebbe explaining that in Nefesh HaAdam and in Avodas HaAdam, in man's soul and in man's service of Hashem, the Rebbe now carries on and explains this in Sfiris, in the divine attributes above, from which these two modes of Avodas Hashem, serving Hashem, emanates. It comes as a result of from the Sfiris, because you find these two modes in Sfiris, the divine attributes, and that brings about that phenomena also down here below. Right? Let's make a start, and then we can refer back, because this is, as I mentioned, it's a little bit intricate, Kabbalistic, so let's start to wade into it. Kuf Ayin Tes, page Kuf Ayin Tes Ois Daled. V'hinei beis oifanim hanal. Now the two above mentioned modes, shebeklolos inyan ha'aveda, which we find in the general concept of serving Hashem, hem mitzat shosham basfiris shelamayla. They come as a result, they emanate from their source in the divine attributes above. Dihinei Sfiris HaMalchus, the divine attribute of Malchus, Malchus of Atzilus, Kivon Shahates Sfiris Dilo, Yerimu Mislapshem Bibia, being that its 9 divine attributes descend and clothe themselves in Bia, in the realms of Bri, Yitzira, and Asiya, meaning the realms that follow Atzilus, the world of emanation. We cannot say concerning this, my glory to another I shall not give. Because on the contrary, ragleho yerdis mavis, her feet descend into death. V'hainu, which means shesfiras hamalchus atzma shayeches lebia. That's the divine attribute of Malchus itself is associated with the realms of Bri, Yitzira, and Asiya. Okay, so first of all, point 1. Malchus of Atzilus, the divine attribute of Malchus from the realm of Atzilus emanation, is the last of the 10 divine attributes in the realm of Atzilus. The realm of Atzilus, the world of emanation, as its name denotes, is an emanation from above, meaning to say it is still within the domain of the created, generally speaking. Creator. Atzilus miloshen etzle v'samuch. Atzilus is from the expression of near him, close by, meaning to say it's still within the domain of the Creator. Point 1. Point 2, as mentioned yesterday, generally speaking, we say in Atzilus, in the realm of Atzilus, loy yigur chara. Evil does not dwell with you. Meaning to say that there is no klippus, there is no chitzenim, there is no le'umazeh, the opposite of kedusha in Atzilus. With the proviso that in other places it does mention it, but let's leave that aside. I think the best way to go about this is to first see what the Rebbe says here, and once we go through the point he makes, we can then perhaps go back and see where there are slight differences between what the Rebbe says here and how things are brought in other places, and then try to understand why. Okay, but that's point number 2.
Why do you use the word 9?
Hang on, I'm getting to that. Now, every sphera. Now, what's the function of the sphere of Malchus? In every realm, the sphere of Malchus is the receiver, as it says in Kabbalah, Les lo megar moklum. Malchus has nothing of its own; it doesn't have its own identity, so to speak. Its entire function is to receive from the 9 attributes above, within that realm, and then to transmit them on to the following realm. So Malchus of Atzilus, for example, will receive from the 9 spheres Chochmah through Yesod above, then transmit that on to Bia. to continue the Hishtalshalus, to continue the same paradigm throughout the Hishtalshalus in the form of, as we mentioned, going from one level to another, one realm to another realm. Why 9? Because
can I just say
because
something?
Malchus does descend. Sorry.
Because the inner aspect of Malchus doesn't descend.
Oh, what's the inner aspect of Malchus? So,
It becomes,
well, what's the inner aspect of Malchus? You're right, in the sense that every memutza, being that Malchus is a memutza, is an intermediary between the higher realm and the lower realm. It's made up of 2 aspects. It's made up of an aspect that is associated to what's above, and it's made up of an aspect to what is associated to what's below, to that which is associated to what's below it. So Malchus of Atzilus, for example, will have an aspect which is related to Atzilus, to its realm, and then it'll have an aspect that's related to the realm that follows. So generally speaking, what descends, okay, you'll call it the outer aspect of Malchus, right?
Yeah.
But what the Rebbe is saying here is even more. So according to what you're saying, so what descends, when the pasuk says, Ragleho Yerdes Mavis, this is a verse in, first of all it says, I won't give my glory to anyone else. That is a pasuk in Yeshaya, right? Where Hashem says, I won't give my glory to anyone else. Chassidus explains this as meaning what? Ani Hashem Hushmi, I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory I will not give to another. Chassidus explains this, that Kedusha, Hashem doesn't give away Kedusha to Klippa. Where is that? In Atzilus. Concerning Malchus of Atzilus, says the Rebbe, we cannot say why? Because there's another verse, which is in Mishle, which says, Raglea Yerdis Mavis, her feet descend to death. He talks about, he says, my son, hearken my wisdom, incline your ear to my understanding, to watch your thoughts and your lips, shall guard knowledge. For the lips of a strange woman drip honey, and her palate is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, as sharp as a 2-edged sword. Her feet descend to death. Her steps come near the grave. It's talking obviously about immoral woman, etc., etc. But in the deeper sense, Malchus is Nukve. So it's talking about what? About Klippe, Malchus being vested into Malchus, into Klippe, into the opposite of Kedusha. Right? So concerning what do we say, the Pasuk in Yeshaya, that my covet I will not give to another. My glory I will not give to another. Right? Says the Rebbe, concerning Malchus we can't say this. Why? Because you were saying, Harris, a minute ago, that what descends into Malchus, the outer aspect of Malchus. The Rebbe says even more. Her the 9 spheres of Malchus also descend into Biyah.
Nine
Chochmah through Yisod. That Malchus descends into Biyah, that's...
Yeah.
Every sphere is made up of the other 10. So you have Chochmah Sheba Chochmah, Bina Sheba Chochmah, so on and so forth. In Malchus you also have the 10 spheres of Chochmah through Malchus.
Yeah.
So you have the 10 spheres within Malchus itself. So the Malchus aspect of Malchus does descend into Biyah. That's a foregone conclusion. Malchus Sheba Malchus.
Yeah.
What about the 10
The
spheres of Malchus? Says the Rebbe, the other 9, says the Rebbe, even they descend into Biyah, into the lower realms. Therefore, this statement, my glory I shall not give to another, cannot be said about Malchus. That's what the Rebbe says here. I don't want to compare it now to what it says in other places. This is what the Rebbe says. Why can't we say that? Because on the contrary, as it quotes now the pasuk from Mishlei, her feet descend to death. What's death? Death is Klippa. Where does Klippa start existing? In Biyah. Since Malchus descends into Biyah, so her feet descend into an area, a place where there is death, where there is the opposite of Kedusha. Therefore, you cannot say concerning Malchus, and I won't give my glory to another, not even concerning the 9 attributes of Malchus. Because all of it descends, has an association with what? Vayihiyu Sfiras HaMalchus Atzma Sheyeches LeBiyah. Sfiras HaMalchus itself, the divine attribute of Malchus, has a connection to Biyah. Any way you cut it, one way or another, it's already connected to Biyah.
Yeah.
What's the point? One more line. Shalachei nikras etz hadas tevera. Oh, so going back to the beginning of the Maimer, remember that I was talking about the Mekoshe Sheitzim, and he said the Pirush Hazoya that Mekoshe Sheitzim means he compared the trees, Lashon Hekesh, Mekoshe Lashon Hekesh, comparing. He compared the Eitz HaChaim to the Eitz Hadas. What are we talking about in this in divine attributes? Eitz Hadas tevera is Malchus of Atzilus.
So
The tree of knowledge, which has good and bad, is a reference to Malchus of Atzilus.
Right.
And because it's Tevara, because it's mixed with good and bad, it's associated with Biyah.
Yes.
Therefore, her 9 divine attributes, not only Malchus aspect, not only the Malchus aspect of it, but all its 9 divine attributes, descend and clothe themselves in Biyah, to the extent that not only they descend and clothe themselves in Biyah, because Biyah has 2 aspects to it. It has the Kedusha, it has the Klippa. The Kedusha and the opposite of Kedusha. It descends even it descends into the area of death, meaning into the Klippa aspects of Biyah.
Let me just ask you a question.
Is it clear?
Yeah. Because the question I want to ask you is, so the sin of eights that took place there, that's where the leakage took place, so to speak.
In Gan Eden, yeah.
In Gan Eden, when Adam ate,
From the Eitz Hadas.
he enabled Atzilus to leak down into the
Klippa.
Klippa. Okay. So when Mashiach comes,
Oh, what's going to be? It's Ruach HaTumah Av in Min Haaretz.
you say what will be, because you're saying...
We go back to Chaim Nitzchim.
What I'm saying is connecting what you said here. You said the outer aspect of Malchus is connected to Klippa.
But the Rebbe is saying here the whole thing is connected to Klippa.
So what I'm saying to you
Ultimately.
is how, when Mashiach comes,
'Cause it'll
how
be
will
Oila.
that be rectified?
It'll be it's Eila. That's what we're doing all the time now. The Rebbe discusses it. The Rebbe discusses it. He mentioned it earlier in the Maimer, and he discusses it, I believe, later on as well. But the point being, because since then he will the spirit of impurity will be removed from the face of the earth.
So what will Malchus look like then?
It'll be Eila l'Sharshay. First of all, wait and see. I don't want to. What do they call it? A plot spoiler, right?
All right.
But of course, it'll be in a state of shleimus. It'll be Eila.
Right.
The whole idea is to introduce Atzilus into B'riyat Tzirasiyah in the 2 dual manners as we discussed, bringing Atzilus to Biyah and raising Biyah up to Atzilus. But Biyah as it is Biyah, not that Biyah is transformed into Atzilus. Biyah remains Biyah, but the Ra, the negativity, the Klippa, is refined and removed.
Yeah.
So it's a tremendous accomplishment.
Yeah.
And similarly, this Tfilah Mitzvah tomorrow. Yud Kislev.
You test Kislev.
Rosh Hashanah L'Chassidus.
That's correct.